Want a sweet treat this winter? Try freezing fruit. Freezing fruit yields the highest quality flavor, texture, and nutritional value than any other food preservation method. It's easy and fun, too. Welcome to the 5-Minute Module series on food preservation. I am Megan Baumler, recording for Suzanne Dreesen, University of Minnesota Extension food safety educator. In this Freezing Fruit for Sweet Success module, you will learn how to preserve the color, flavor, and texture of your favorite fruit. Freezing does not improve the quality of the fruit, so be sure to use fresh, firm, ripe, and disease-free fruit. Immature or overripe fruit produces lower quality when frozen. Prepare fruit in only 2 to 3 quarts at a time. Working with small amounts prevents loss of quality and nutrients. Wash all fruit under running water before peeling, pitting, cutting, or slicing. Scrub firm-skinned fruit like apples with a produce brush. Drain well and dry fruit well with paper towels to remove excess moisture. Do not use galvanized copper or iron pots or equipment to process the fruit before freezing. The acid in the fruit can react with the metals, absorbing these non-food grade metals into the fruit, causing off flavors. Some fruits, such as peaches, apples, pears, and apricots, will darken quickly when exposed to air and during freezing. They may also lose flavor when thawed. There are several ways to prevent darkening of fruit and flavor loss during preparation. Ascorbic acid or vitamin C is the preferred method to prevent discoloration in most fruit. It preserves the natural color and flavor of the fruit. It also adds vitamin C. There are also ascorbic acid mixtures on the market. If you use those, make sure to follow the directions on the package for freezing. For syrup or liquid pack, which we'll discuss in a couple slides exactly what that means, add 1/2 teaspoon powdered ascorbic acid or 1,500 milligrams to 1 quart of cool water. Stir until dissolved and then add the fruit. To use ascorbic acid in fruit with a sugar or dry pack, dissolve 1/2 teaspoon powdered ascorbic acid in 3 tablespoons cold water for each quart of fruit. Sprinkle over fruit before adding the sugar. For crushed fruit, purees, or juices, mix 1/2 teaspoon powdered ascorbic acid with prepared fruit. Stir well. Salt and vinegar solutions are no longer recommended for use to prevent browning. These solutions may prevent browning initially, but light-colored fruit will eventually become gray in appearance. Lemon juice will prevent fruit from darkening up to 3 months in the freezer. Use ascorbic acid for storage longer than 3 months. You have several options to pack fruits for freezing. A syrup pack, sugar pack, dry pack, or unsweetened pack, which includes a pectin syrup pack, fruit packed in juice or water, and use of artificial sweeteners. Most fruits have a better texture and flavor if packed in a sugar or syrup. However, the use of sugar is a quality issue and not necessarily to safely preserve fruits. Let's look at each type of pack. For a syrup pack, dissolve sugar in lukewarm water, mix until clear, and chill. Pour 1/2 to 2/3 cup of the syrup per pint over fruit in a freezer container. Allow 1/2 inch of headspace per pint or 1 inch per quart. Headspace is the empty space between the packed food and lid closure to allow for expansion of the fruit as it freezes. To prevent fruit from browning, keep fruit under the syrup. Place crumpled waxed paper to keep fruit covered by the syrup. The concentration of sugar to water depends on your personal preference. This chart provides the proportion of sugar to water concentration for a very light syrup of 10% to a very heavy syrup of 50%. A 40% syrup is recommended for most fruits. You may place 1/4 of the sugar with honey if you wish. Sugar pack is sugar sprinkled on sliced fruits like peaches, strawberries, plums, cherries, de-seeded grapes, or small whole fruit like berries. Sugar helps retain color, flavor, and texture. When packing fruit with sugar, simply sprinkle sugar to taste over fruit. Mix gently until juicy, and let the sugar dissolve for 15 minutes. Unsweetened packed fruit generally yields a product without the plump texture and good color of those packed with sugar. However, some fruits like raspberries, blueberries, steamed apples, gooseberries, currants, cranberries, and rhubarb maintain a good quality product without added sugar. Simply pack the fruit into a container. Allow 1/2 inch head space, seal, label, and freeze. Fruit pieces dry packed may clump together if not frozen rapidly. To prevent clumping, freeze fruit pieces individually in a single layer on a tray for 1 to 2 hours, and then pack into containers. In addition to dry pack, unsweetened fruit can be packed in water, unsweetened juice, or a pectin syrup solution. The pectin syrup is often used to freeze strawberries or peaches to help retain their texture. This is better than freezing in water or juice. Mix 1 package powdered pectin in 1 cup water. Bring to a boil and boil for 1 minute. Remove from heat, cool, and add 1 3/4 cup water. Pack into containers. Water or unsweetened juice packs are an option for freezing fruit. However, the texture will be mushy and the color poor. Because of the liquid added, it freezes harder and will take longer to thaw. Artificial sweeteners can be added to taste before freezing or before serving. This will give a sweet flavor but doesn't provide color protection as well as sugar does. On the container, write the name of the food item, date frozen, and quantity. For best quality, freeze vegetables as quickly as possible. To assure quick freezing, set the freezer temperature at -10 degrees Fahrenheit for 24 hours before freezing the fruit. Do not overload the freezer with unfrozen food. Freeze only the amount that will freeze solid within 24 hours. This is usually 2 to 3 pounds of food per cubic foot of storage space. For a 20 cubic foot freezer, freeze no more than 40 to 60 pints of unfrozen fruit at a time. Overloading slows down the freezing rate, resulting in worse quality. Spread packages out around the freezer until frozen, and then stack. After the fruit is frozen, keep your freezer at 0 degrees Fahrenheit or colder. Place a freezer thermometer in the warmest place in your freezer. This is usually near the top or by the door. Read the freezer temperature after it has been in place for 24 hours. Adjust freezer temperature if above 0 degrees. For best quality, not for food safety, use fruit within 8 to 12 months of freezing. Don't let fruit go to waste. Freeze it for later use. Thank you for listening.